Good morning to my Investors Playbook Nation. This is Simeon Papailias, and today I have the pleasure of welcoming Mark Gonneau and David Atwell to the studio, where we're going to be discussing everything they're up to. They are the founders of HoneyTree Real Estate, and HoneyTree is a fund that is growing. It is a fund that is investing in the hospitality sector, but in a twist. It has a big twist to it. These boys were able to identify a hole in the marketplace, and it's everything we're going to be covering today with them, what they're doing about it, and how their team and their investors are winning every single day. Stay tuned. Mr. Mark Gonneau, David Atwell, welcome to Investors Playbook. I'm very happy to see you boys this morning. Good morning.
Morning. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It is definitely our pleasure to have you. I am very curious myself, although I know kind of the high level of what you're up to. I'm very curious to find out the details, and that's why the team invited you on the show. We are looking to enable and, of course, further the investment community by presenting options and educating everyone on how creativity implies opportunity. In this business of real estate investing, in this business of investing, there is legit 1 trillion ways to skin the cat. Everybody has an idea. Everybody has a method. Not all of them work, but some of them are more intriguing than others. And what really got me is the fact that true entrepreneurs are never scared of chaos. They actually thrive in chaos. And we just went through a 3-year period. I'm not going to say the word. It's never happened before. We are in uncharted waters, all the things. The pandemic. The pandemic really messed people up. The pandemic really disrupted the status quo, traditional investing, traditional living. Mm-hmm. It changed the way we do things. It changed the world.
Yes, 100%.
Inside the pandemic, you too, saw an opportunity. Developing. You are avid real estate investors already. So I want to kind of get started with a little bit of your story, how you came to seize an opportunity in the pandemic. We'll speak to the opportunity in great detail. But tell me a little bit about your story of investing, what you've done traditionally. Let's call it the last 5 years. So 2 years prior to the pandemic, where were you? What were you doing? What was your mindset versus where you are today? Mark, get started.
Sure. I mean, my real estate investing story is, goes back closing in on 25 years. So I've been doing this for a while and I've done a lot of stuff. 5 years ago, I was very much in the multifamily world. We were doing a lot of multifamily value add, buying apartment buildings, and as units turned over, we'd renovate them, put in new tenants, paying a higher rent to drive the value of the building. And that is... it's a great model, but...
it's still a great model today, by the way. 100%.
It's still a great model today, and it's just, we started looking at the valuations in multifamily buildings and seeing that it was making less and less sense with the cap rates being compressed as much as they were, interest rates looking to go up, which of course they have in 2022 quite substantially. It wasn't making as much sense as it was before. And then we saw this fantastic opportunity with the hospitality, and I'm going to let Dave jump in here because the hospitality just represented something that was going the other way from a cap rate standpoint, and it was a great opportunity.
So let me say this before David jumps in. What we're referring to with hospitality is we're not talking about cheeseburgers.
No.
We're talking about the hotel industry.
Yes.
And we're in the hotel industry. What it is, it's to the real estate investor. Before Airbnb made every single person a hotelier overnight, because that's what it did.
Yeah.
And there's people who really took advantage of the opportunity. They became even peddlers of other people's Airbnbs and all the different craziness that ensued. Hoteling, if you're going to go hotel, is you're retailing housing. You're allowing a human being who's on the go to put their head at a pillow overnight, and you charge them money for it.
Yeah.
The actual definition of hoteling and all the amenities that go with it, from 1-star to 5-star, from swimming pools to tennis courts, whatever your lifestyle chooses. The difference here is the pandemic changed people.
100%.
And it created an opportunity. So where we're going with it, for everybody to just kind of follow the breadcrumbs, because you went from multifamily to recognize the retailing of real estate. Multifamily is long-term rental, stands to be the absolute best asset class in real estate, which is why every pension fund and institutional investor is after it, which is, to your point a second ago, what drove cap rates all the way down.
Yes.
Multifamily is so stable that people will pay and receive a 3 cap just to be in it, just to park money. That's not what an active real estate investor is looking for. They're looking for cash flow, they're looking to supplement their incomes, and they're looking to grow.
Yes.
David, before we dive into where we're headed, give me your background of what you were investing in, what excites you about the real estate investment industry.
Yeah, so I started when I was 24. That was back in 2011. I was saving up as much money as I can because I just really wanted to get into the market. I really wanted to get a house. And so I bought my first student rental in 2011. And shortly after, I was working in the movie business, and some of my colleagues started noticing the success that I had, and they were asking me to invest money with me. And that was initially how HoneyTree started. It's like, let's put some money together and buy some property. So from 2011 to 2017, I was in student residence, single family homes, and then getting into the multifamily value add space. And truthfully, a lot of that was kicked off by Keyspire, taking some of those great Keyspire courses, learning about multifamily value add, and getting into that, shifting gears to get into commercial.
And for anybody who doesn't know, because you mention it in such a way where it's a natural thing to know about, it's not. Keyspire is probably one of the greatest real estate investor communities in this country. It is led by Scott McGillivray and Michael Saraceni, and they've been around for going on, well over 10 years at this point. We've been with them since they were real estate wealth. I can't remember even the name.
I think it was the Wealth Academy.
The Wealth Academy.
Yeah.
And we've grown with them and been with them for the entire time as educators and facilitators of opportunity. For anybody who doesn't know what Keyspire is, definitely get onto Google or your search engine and find out about it, because it is going to teach you things that you wouldn't otherwise know. Going back to those teachings, what did you implement immediately upon learning the intricacies of real estate?
So that'd be private equity. So creating a syndication or a corporation to bring private capital together to buy multifamily. That was probably one of the most important things that I learned, was actually how to leverage a property properly and safely, and taking that equity out. Effectively, it's just the BRRRR strategy. Implementing that very quickly was probably the most valuable thing from Keyspire.
Amazing.
To shift gears there.
Amazing. So let's get into what you identified. So you're sitting there looking at the market.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My understanding is you guys were just looking at multifamily and you run into some motels.
Not quite, actually. Yeah. And as soon as we got this accepted offer, that's when the Fed introduced the stress test, and then interest rates started going up and values started coming down.
April 2017, I was in the middle of so February was on fire.
Yeah.
April of 2017 is a whole different story.
Yeah.
Which is when the fair housing plan came into effect with Kathleen Wynne.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was in the middle of two $4 million builds in Etobicoke in Humber Valley. Anyways, I sold them, and we did extremely well.
Yeah.
Extremely well.
Yeah.
The poor buyers literally went into a cardiac arrest, because in June, the market took a 15% hit.
Yeah.
But by January, it was back above 10% above where it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So all ends well, but I remember that time like it was yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
It actually put a mark on my career.
Same with us. And so, at that point, I was sitting on some cash. I just freed up some of my single family homes. I'm shifting gears in a commercial, and I'm looking at cap rates in Toronto and Southern Ontario. I'm like, this won't do. Like, it was driving me crazy. And so one market I started looking at was multifamily in Quebec, in Montreal specifically. I'm looking at all the purpose-built inventory, the cap rates. It's such a great environment. And so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to fly out there for a weekend. I'm going to meet with some realtors. We're going to go look at some product. We're going to look at some inventory just to get to know the market, right? And while I was there, it was the morning I was checking out. I was like, you know what, the most interesting thing about this trip is the hotel itself that I stayed in, because I booked that on Expedia. I had about 200 different choices, and I chose this one. It looked the best, it was in the best location, and had the best price. And while I was sitting there, it dawned on me, like, how did they pull that off? And it's because they use a digital concierge. There's nobody there to check in. It's basically an Airbnb multifamily building. And that's when I had that aha moment. It just clicked in my head. I'm like, this is what we should be doing. That was February 2018 at the time. So we're just a little over 5 years ago now.
And 2 years prior to the pandemic.
2 years prior to the pandemic.
Yeah.
And this actually segues great as part of the story, because I came home and I started talking to Mark. I'm like, Mark, we got to do this. Like, this is the next best thing. And, we started doing our research.
Because you're collecting a couple $100 a night. That's retail money.
Yeah.
$200 a night translates to $6,000 for a room.
Exactly. For a bachelor.
Yeah.
Come on.
For a 180 square foot, 240 square foot room, right?
Gorgeous. Yes.
And so that's when we started looking, and we spent the next 2 years from February 2018 to February 2020 looking for deals, and they did not exist. Like, we were so frustrated. Like, they're great assets. People do not sell hotels. You hold on to them for life because they create so much cash. And in fact, we were about to give up. We're like, we spent 2 years, like, let's just shift gears and pivot to the next thing. And we were going down to the States to buy multifamily. We're like, all right, let's do Texas, let's do Phoenix, let's do Atlanta. Let's just try something else. Mm-hmm. And then boom, the pandemic. And suddenly my phone's blowing up. I have realtors calling me like, hey, we have this hotel.
So let's be very clear. What did the pandemic do to the hotel industry? so you go from nobody selling a hotel to the government saying, A, your passports, you can put those away because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
B, you're not leaving your house.
Right? Yeah.
You're not going to Ottawa. You're not going to Red Deer. You're not going to Vancouver. You're not going anywhere.
Right.
You can't go to a restaurant. You can't go to anything. So let's just say the hotels got a little decimated.
They got obliterated.
All right.
Literally overnight.
So brokers are starting to sneak some calls.
They're remembering that Toronto guy. Hey, are you still looking?
Funny you call.
I was just about to go to the States. I can't go there now.
Wow. Okay, so you get a call?
Yeah, so we got a call, and it was so serendipitous because I had just left the movie business in March 2020, literally a week before the pandemic to pursue this. And it was a couple months, my phone starts ringing. We get a call, and it's the first hotel we bought in Montreal. Beautiful property, 27 units right in downtown in the Latin district. And so that's when it really started shifting gears. It's okay, let's pivot back towards hospitality because we know there's going to be a huge opportunity here. Yeah. Many hoteliers are going to be throwing in the towel right now.
Yeah, because everybody's on the traditional model, right? It's not like they were built or conditioned to know any different.
Right.
Every single business got hit the same way with having to figure it out. Mm-hmm. So these are the restrictions. Every morning we wake up, there's a new restriction. Yeah. There's a new change. Today the pandemic is raging. Tomorrow all of a sudden you don't have to wear masks. Then today you have to wear masks and all the different things that happen. Like not for the pandemic. It's just an environment that did not foster normalcy.
Yeah.
It was everything but.
Right. But at the same time, we knew that the pandemic wouldn't last forever.
Correct.
So we knew that there was an opportunity to get in at some great valuations. And we knew that give it a couple of years, we didn't know exactly how long at the time, but give it some time and things will come back to normal.
Yes. So you get this first hotel, which is the first acquisition. Let's talk about your very first acquisition, and then I want to see where you're at today.
Sure.
Yeah.
So give me timeline. What did your first acquisition look like?
So, of course, financing became a massive hurdle.
For sure.
We got it under contract in June or July 2020. We didn't close until the following April.
This is the 27-unit one?
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Where is this again?
2024 Saint Denis. in Montreal.
In Montreal.
It's at the intersection, just south of Sherbrooke and Saint Denis.
Got it?
It took us 9 months to close, and the biggest hurdle was getting financing. Because, okay, we have this great opportunity buying hotels, but now what do we do for financing? No banks touching them. B lenders aren't touching them. Our go-to private lenders weren't touching them.
Because this is early on in the pandemic.
This is
after everybody was touching them.
This is the scary time of
This
the
is
pandemic.
the time that nobody knew.
That's right.
You're talking about June up until August, I believe. There was that nobody knew their H from their A. So just to put it into perspective as to what's happening, where is it going?
Yeah.
By August, it started kind of taking a direction. The banks opened up and what have you. But so you're trying to close in the middle of the nonsense.
Yeah.
And you don't end up closing till the year following.
9 months later, yeah.
How did the deal survive? So I want you to give every investor a tip. How did you manage the negotiation to keep the deal on the table?
That was extremely difficult. And so it was really building a rapport with the brokers, even on both sides, because they knew what a difficult task they had to get this deal done. But I was explaining to them our story. We've been looking for this asset for 2 years. We are a fund and we're ready for this asset. In fact, I actually moved to Montreal from Toronto for about a year just to get entrenched in that marketplace and get to know what's going on there. So they really had to see how dedicated we were and that we were really working our ass off to get this deal done.
Incredible.
Yeah.
How did you feel during all this?
I mean, again, I looked at this as a great opportunity. If you look at, teachings of Warren Buffett, which is be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy. Well, this was a time where there was literally blood in the streets when it went in this sort of industry. And like I said, we knew this was going to be a time-limited event, the pandemic, and we knew that there was opportunity there. And we just had to figure out a way to really get a hold of it.
So I couldn't agree with you more. It is the exact said principle of Mr. Buffett, one of the best sayings of all time.
Yeah.
It's because it's true.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a single time in the market in turmoil that we as an organization have not gained at a bare minimum 20% market share. And I'm talking about from my real estate business to my portfolio to everything that I've ever touched. I personally thrive in chaos. And those who share those qualities, leaders are not made in peace. They're made in war. Money is never made in prosperity. It's made in time of difficulty. Because unless you have a true value proposition, this isn't manipulating or taking advantage of anything or anyone.
No.
Success and wealth are made by value proposition.
Mm-hmm.
If you created the pen, the writing instrument, every single person who wants to communicate needs to buy one. That's a value proposition. It's that simple. When you create an offering that got your attention, when you went and found the best hotel on the best street, the best looking for the best price, you're having your aha moment. Well, wakey, wakey. That's what everybody's looking for. Yeah. You found a great value proposition. So you're like, how do I create this too? How do I even do it better? I didn't have to speak to anyone. I found exactly what I was looking for less. That is a great business model.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And the people that we're buying these properties off, they just need an exit. And there's no buyers out there. So we're giving the value proposition for the vendors is like, hey, we know that you're in desperate times right now. Here's an opportunity for you to exit on this asset class because you're about to default on their mortgage.
Of course.
Right? And so now we're actually bringing them capital. They can exit. They're comfortable again. And now we're taking this asset and transitioning.
How is this asset performing today?
Extremely well. So one of the strategies that we use is using the extended stay model. And we can dive into this a little bit further about, because not only has COVID made it difficult for hotels to operate, it's made it difficult for people just to live. With inflation, the cost of living, interest rates, people can't travel. They can't afford to travel like they used to. And so now we've pivoted and created a product that's just packed full of value. One thing that we do is we add kitchens in every unit to create the extended stay model. Now people can cook their own.
The Airbnb model.
The Airbnb model. That's right.
So let's think this through. Consumer Simeon. I have a beautiful wife and 2 amazing children. Right. Anywhere we go, the minute we go into a hotel, life sucks. Why does it suck?
Where's the food? Where's the fridge?
I have 2 kids as well. I know your pain.
But that's the world's pain.
Yeah.
A hotel is amazing. Yes, you get catered to, but at a cost of $400 a day. because you're going to go for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Exactly.
And after the second, the third day, the fourth day, well, it gets a little exhausting.
It's really
and
adding up.
it's actually aggravating to me.
Yeah.
Like paying $70 a person or $30 a person or
3 times a day.
3 times a
4
day.
heads.
Yeah.
There's a time where it stops feeling good.
Yeah.
Like I'm over the pampering. I actually don't want to eat eggs Benedict every morning.
Exactly.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
Like, can I have a bowl of cereal, please?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So with that being said, it is a true problem. There's a reason why Airbnb, VRBO, and all these platforms grew like wildfire, is because they found the missing piece.
Yeah.
The traditional hotel model is exhausting,
Yeah.
and it's not for everyone.
That's right.
But Airbnb is for everyone because you can find any type of home on that platform.
Yes.
High, medium, low. Whatever your budget can hold, whatever location you're looking for, tree house, train house, boat house, you can find it.
Yeah.
The model that you created was taking a traditional stay model, like a hotel or a motel, and creating that piece that you can control how your day goes. You're not going to be under somebody else's strings.
Yeah.
Tell me how people dealt with it. How what was the first review like when they stayed at your place?
We have, I mean, right now we're thousands of reviews, and they're all fantastic. I mean, people love the fact that they have a kitchen. People love the fact that they don't have to wait for room service to have their orange juice.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But I mean, it also gets into, as Dave said, like extended stay, where people now have the ability to stay longer. If you're looking to stay for a week, 2 months, or even a month, you want a place that has a kitchen. You want a place where you can do laundry. So it opens up more avenues for us.
I absolutely love it. Going back to the consumer model, and why this works is, I was in Lisbon for March break, and I remember this like right now. The first thing we did is across the street, we stayed at the Don Pedro, which is a 5-star, incredible hotel. God bless them, well ran, well managed. But at the end of the day, the first thing that I did is go across the street to the supermarket and pick up the basics. I needed a yogurt for the morning because I know when they wake up, they need something. I bought some juice because the Don Pedro has juice, but it's 14 euros a bottle. And I'm not suffering here. I am very able to pay 14 euros for a bottle of orange juice, but I don't want to.
Why?
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Again, the asset class addresses the things, which is why I believe you're going to succeed in a major way, and why I believe that people need to understand. People who are in the investment community need to understand that unless you're solving a problem, a real problem, you're in the middle. The people who are going to be top performers are the people who address an issue in the marketplace and provide true solutions in a scalable way.
Absolutely. One of the coolest things that we found in our research over the past 5 years is the digital concierge itself, because that's a piece of technology that really adds a lot of value to this product and solves a lot of problems. At the end of the day, people no longer need somebody to carry their bags to the room, especially if it's going to cost them an extra $100 a night. That's just not valuable to them. They don't need the room service. But having this technology that allows them to have those things if they want it. For example, in Montreal, we're working on a collaboration with a cafe that rents from us. We can still actually provide room service. You can order stuff to your room through our digital concierge. It just goes down to the restaurant and they run it up. We can even sell additional items. We can make a partnership with a deli across the street, maybe a souvenir shop. And Simeon, when your plane lands, you can say, hey, we just see you got to Montreal. Would you like a charcuterie board in your room? We can send a gift package to your room that you pay for through the app. Our staff can actually put it into the fridge, set it up. So when you get there, your yogurt's actually already in there. You don't even need to go across the street.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. We're saving so much time. And all these little things add up. All these little value add moments, they add up to a lot of value. And that just drives the value of the real estate. It drives their NOI, and we're creating this property that's far more valuable.
So just to touch on that a little bit, I'm a commercial broker. As a matter of fact, you're both commercial brokers at this time in your lives. And the reason I know that is because we work together as commercial brokers, but your venture here is something completely separate.
Yeah.
In commercial real estate, for anybody who does not know, commercial real estate is valuated based on its income. That is 90% of the case. In some cases, you're going to have valuations based on replacement value on older assets and or a few other situations, but 99.9% of valuations in commercial real estate, hotels, gas stations, plazas, etc., are 100% nothing to do with the bricks and the fixturing on the ground. Rather, it's income in its highest and best use.
Correct.
With that being said, what David is referring to right now, it creates value to have all these, let's call it auxiliary sources for the client, but those auxiliary values also present auxiliary revenue. And when we talk about multifamily, the auxiliary revenue is typically laundry services, coin-operated laundry, storage, parking, all the little things that we add. In this case, if you present a business case where the app is easy to use, or by the time you check in, would you like a charcuterie board, automatically come up, well, yeah, I'm actually hungry right now. That looks good. Add.
Yeah.
This is how she's done. So you're taking the best marketing on the planet Earth that came up with all this crap. Because you never used to say, while checking out on Uber Eats right now, did you forget to add dessert? Did you want a Coca-Cola? Did you want... This is studied and true by billions of marketing.
Yep.
That when you're ordering, typically you're hungry. When you're hungry, you do things that you normally would not do, which is why you don't go to the grocery store hungry.
That's right.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
People who go hungry spend $100 more from the ready aisles.
Yeah.
By the time you get home, you're not cooking anymore.
You ate on the way home all the stuff that you grabbed in front of the checkout.
So this, unlike any other asset class in real estate, presents the opportunity to be in a business too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what opportunity are you working on today? So where are you at right now?
So property-wise, we've got a property under contract in Collingwood, Ontario right now.
How many properties are in the fund right now?
So Dave and I have 4 hotels that we own currently, and those will all be going into the fund. We'll be rolling those into the fund sort of as time goes forward. We also have...
Has this been a private self-funded venture the entire time?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are monsters.
Well, we partnered with addinvest.ca.
Got it.
So but we've raised private capital amongst our accredited investor community, friends and family.
These are all friends and family,
right? Yeah, and in our own wealth. Yeah.
And at this point, you're looking at, you created a GPLP structure.
Yeah.
This is an exempt market dealer product.
Yes. OM, MFT. It's technically a mutual fund trust.
For anybody listening, that means you can't call to participate. You're not calling us to buy and or get involved. This is governed by the Ontario Securities Commission and every other province's commission.
Correct.
And you have to qualify based on a number of items. If you don't know the suitability of what an accredited investor is or eligible investor, start with Googling that for the sake of, this isn't that show. But you have to, this is a financial product. It's a financial instrument that's going to cause a return on investment, whether positive or negative. I don't want to talk nonsense. But this is an investment opportunity for those who get it. And this is an investment opportunity for those who understand that you need to speak to an exempt market dealer to get involved.
Correct.
And it's, I don't want to use the word syndication because it's not. It's a partnership where you buy shares into something, correct?
Yep.
Technically units.
Yeah, technically units.
LP units. Yeah.
LP units, limited partnership units.
Yeah.
And the general partner is who operates it.
Correct. Yes.
And that's you with your team.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit about the team, and then we'll go back to your current project. Tell me a little bit about who's redesigning, who's doing the construction. Do you guys have trusted partners? Is there a core team? How does that run?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that Mark and I have been building for quite some time. I mean, HoneyTree started with Mark and I about 6 or 7 years ago. But when you're taking on these large undertakings, like you need to have people who know more about construction, for example, than we do. And so that was an important piece of our business, was bringing in the right construction partner. And so we've partnered with a gentleman named Philip. He's actually set up in Montreal. He has his RBQ license, and he's actually performing all these renovations. He's an RBQ contractor based out of Ontario, but now we're fully licensed, set up in Montreal.
Give me some of the architects you've worked with.
Yeah, so that's a great one. So we're working with the Gowley brothers out of Montreal. They've designed some of the coolest bars and restaurants in Montreal. In fact, they've won all kinds of design awards. Amazing. And if anyone's in Montreal, check out the Atwater Cocktail Club, the ACC. That's a really cool, sexy speakeasy. It's right on the corner of Atwater and Notre Dame, right behind Foie Gras. It is one of the sexiest cocktail bars in Montreal,
And they designed it.
They designed it.
Yeah.
And
So are your interiors made to be modern chic? What kind of feel are you guys going after?
yeah, so we go for like a timeless design. So a lot of I use a foundation as an example. We have a canvas. It's the same off-white color, square trim baseboard that's easy to clean, wide plank, white oak flooring. The purpose of it is to be timeless.
And is that vinyl?
Yeah,
Is
vinyl.
Yeah.
Easy to clean,
Of
timeless. The bathrooms, like we don't have any fixtures that have like hinges on it, like the fixed glass, large tile, very easy to clean, but we layer aesthetics on top of it. So we can change the accent wall, we can change the wallpaper, we can put in whatever layers on top, but we never have to change the foundation. So the design can last you're supposed to change every 7 years. The foundation can last for 21, 25 years.
Yeah.
We just go in and repaint and redecorate and
Yeah.
put in new finishes.
Yeah, people confuse furniture with fixturing, and it's not the same thing, is it?
No,
That's
not
right.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a splash of paint and new furniture changes an entire room in 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Well, fixturing, if you have to do the floor or the tiles or
Yeah.
et cetera every so often, you're talking a whole different capex.
Yeah,
course,
and
yeah.
we have a lot of stuff from like Article, for example, article.com. And same with EQ3. One thing that we're working on with the digital concierge is the ability to upsell products within the room. It's like, hey, by the way, you like that bed? You can buy this bundle from Article, and we'll actually ship it to your house. We'll even have local artists
It's brilliant.
with their artwork on the wall and be like, hey, check out the Gowley brothers. This is one of their paintings. If you'd like it, we'll ship it to your house. There's so much potential to create that local experience just by designing the room as a local of Montreal would design it and expressing that through the digital concierge so people can take it home with them, because it really is that memory that they're buying and experiencing.
And I'll tell you what, it's the true value here is the fact that we're making the world a better, a better and bigger and smaller place. And what I mean by that, you're making it bigger with opportunity. You're making it better because you're providing an amazing experience. You're making it smaller because now I can have that painting. I feel like I'm part of this network.
Yeah.
I'm part of the experience and the fabric. That makes someone feel good.
Yeah.
Well, taking it to a different level, as an investor, you can stay at your own property.
Or better yet, as a guest, you can become an owner.
Yeah.
So if you love that experience, it's, oh, by the way, check out the HoneyTree Mutual Fund for as little as $2,500, or perhaps with a partnership with a company like Addy Invest. For $1, you can own this portfolio of hospitality all over Canada.
It's incredible.
So you're driving your own NOI.
Yeah.
So you're actually furthering your investment by participating in
Exactly.
it.
And like we have
No wonder you're having some success. Because just the people who travel, if they want to become owners of it,
Yeah.
the fund's already winning.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
And from personal, and I'll say this myself and blush when I say it. It's pretty cool to say I'm going to go stay at my hotel.
100%.
Yeah.
Because it feels good.
It feels good, yeah.
It's
It
so
feels
great.
good.
It's such a great asset. It's so unique. And to actually own a hotel, because like we all love multifamily. We all have great real estate assets in our portfolio.
Yes.
This is such a unique opportunity for you, even as an investor, to own a hotel. And I'm telling you, it's really once in a lifetime. The pandemic is what brought this on. And so now you actually have a chance by investing in the HoneyTree Fund to own a portfolio of hotels.
To wrap up kind of the demand for this, there's one reality that I'm noticing, and I want you to confirm and clear up any misconceptions. Municipalities have waged a war on short-term rental.
Such an important piece of this business.
And the reason is they're not villains. They're
Nope.
trying to save the supply of any rental in their pools because of Canada's chronic problem with the inability to build sufficient homes.
There's such a shortage of housing.
So this is real. I'm not speaking as to why that is, because all I'm going to do is get angry. Every single time we vote at the ballot for a new government and a new minister of housing, and we hope there's some change, everybody tries, but there's a consistent failure of addressing the issue.
Yeah.
With that being said, the municipalities have waged a war in short term because people that do short term rental are looking to retail profit their homes and their assets. And it's all fine and dandy, but you're making it impossible for a citizen of the town to live affordably.
Yeah.
So it is directly correlated.
It's a very serious problem.
It is. We are on the other, there's two sides. The capitalist simian says, this is my property, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I want to profit if I want to. Non-capitalist Simeon, I'm not going to say communist Simeon, but right-leaning and left-leaning, you also don't want to see your co-citizens, your brothers and sisters suffering.
Yeah.
So there is a dichotomy in everyone, which is actually the enemy of progress, is when everybody's confused, no decision can be made and no progress is made, which sucks. So there is a compromise here. At the end of the day, the cities want to protect their citizens. They're banning short-term rental.
Yeah.
How does that play into your play, or does it?
It does, 100%. Simply because that affects supply demand. I mean, we've already talked about and we've spoken about how the demand for
Sorry,
these...
you mean it does in a good way?
For
Because you're a
us.
licensed hotel.
Because we're a licensed hotel, exactly.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about how from the demand side, like the Airbnb or an extended stay rental, there's such massive demand for that. But with the municipalities restricting Airbnbs, what they're doing is restricting supply, which essentially just pushes those guests
Into your nets.
right into us.
That's incredible. Have you already seen now with, I believe, like just locally, and I know like we're speaking to brothers and sisters all over North America, but we're in the GTA. We're in actually North America's hottest market. 235 cranes in the sky, and still crying that we don't have enough. However, Toronto a few years back put it into effect. Hamilton is just putting into effect.
Yep.
There's municipality after municipality that's going into the licensing route, and unless it's a primary residence, et cetera, et cetera. Have you already seen an increase across your occupancy rates as a result of municipalities moving this way?
Yeah, and it's already beginning. So the province of Quebec has probably one of the best jurisdictions for governing tourism. It's the CITQ, the Center of Information of Tourism in Quebec. They've set up that licensing system where you have to be a licensed hotel, or it has to be your bona fide primary residence to be licensed to be on Airbnb. Tragically, there was an event that occurred in March of this year.
Yeah.
Where about 7 people were killed in an illegal Airbnb. It was absolutely horrendous. But what's happened then is the government stepped in and said, okay, there's no more of this going on. And they just wiped out the entire platform and said, you must prove your registration to get back on the platform. And when you look in Quebec and you look in Montreal, if you were paying attention, you would have noticed at least 50% of the listings are just gone. They're just gone.
And the demand hasn't changed.
Exactly.
Demand hasn't changed. Exactly. Right. We're entering the summer season. F1 is massive in Montreal.
Coming right up.
We get like $500 nights on some of our smallest rooms. And so it's all just like happening. You know, it's a horrible event. And that licensing system really should have been enforced stronger to prevent that from happening.
In hindsight, everything is always different, right?
Yeah.
But going forward, if this tragedy is what fuels real change and safety to be in play, may that be its cause and its legacy.
Yeah.
So,
and this is going to be coming out across Canada. But in additional to that, I mean, the affordable housing crisis, I mean, what an awful time to be a young person trying to find a home in Ontario, in Southern Ontario, and to find out that condo you could have got was now on Airbnb. Like that, honestly, that
was the issue.
That was the issue.
Yeah.
And it still somewhat is until it's more strictly enforced. But, you know, for us, this is actually a really feel-good investment because, you know, now we're buying these great hotels and we're making them way better than any Airbnb can. They're professionally managed. We're like putting a wolf into this ecosystem that's just going after these little Airbnbs and just because they should be housing. Houses are for people. Hotels
for long-term rental.
For long-term rentals. Hotels are short-term accommodations.
Are you guys going to get into building them? Do you think that's an option?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, right now there's enough product for us to acquire at great valuations. The market itself is very fragmented. I mean, keep in mind we're going after boutique hotels. I mean, we're not going after big 200-room Marriotts and stuff like that.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet.
we're not too far. We're about a year and a half away.
The power of yet.
But
look us up in a year or two.
Yeah, exactly. But in the boutique space, it's very fragmented. It's a lot of mom and pop operators.
Easy to acquire
because also from predominantly baby boomer owned. From a succession planning standpoint, the millennial children don't want anything to do with that business.
that's a great point.
They've seen their they've seen their parents work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't want that. And
frankly, neither do the parents. The
Right.
parents did that, put the kids through law school or what have you, for them not to live the same lifestyle. Not to say that it's a bad lifestyle, but it's to say they did not want them to do the same.
Right.
So we've created that schism and problem as well, because that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, but I mean that's where our technology comes in, because the technology that exists now, just like how workplaces have changed with everybody doing Zoom meetings, technology has allowed us to do digital check-ins, digital concierge, so that you don't need to be there physically on site at the front desk.
Giannis and Helen don't need to be 24/7 at the front.
Right, but they don't
simply
know.
don't know that.
They don't know because they've run it the same way for the past 3 generations.
Yeah.
And the other thing is it's a significant amount of capital that has to go in to put in the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And that's intimidating because they just got beat up by the pandemic. And now we need how much? $1 million to upgrade our hotel? No, I'll just sell it to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, going back, there's a lot of product out there now that we can acquire, because there is an opportunity in the market right now. But that opportunity isn't going to last forever. We're coming out of COVID. Travel has come back. I mean, last year, what were they talking about last summer? Revenge travel. It was the summer. It was the summer of revenge travel.
Yeah.
So I mean, the opportunity for us to acquire properties is here now, and I mean, we're sort of catching lightning in a bottle to be able to grab them at great valuations, grab them from owners who are physically exhausted, mentally exhausted, potentially having financial issues. But yes, once we run out of properties that are ones we want to acquire.
I don't think you will. I do believe that right now is the opportune time, just like in real estate. I think within the next 2-3 months, real estate in Ontario will no longer be on sale.
Right.
We've seen month over month growth in regular real estate. We're going to be back. I'm not going to use any G words. I am of a very strong opinion that by next year this time, we are going to be at or above February 22 levels of pricing and otherwise.
Yep.
Even though interest rates will never be where they were.
Right.
Because that will never happen again. That I will actually say.
Yeah.
So I do believe there's opportunity for millennia. I don't think you will ever run out. I think you will always, as the market progresses, you're just going to have to get better with acquisition. You're going to have to get bigger with acquisition, because I do believe you will succeed at the highest level with this concept.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mark, what is the website people can find you on?
www.honeytreegrow.ca.
HoneyTreeGrow.ca.
Correct.
Socials, David, where are you guys all over?
Yeah, at HoneyTree Grow on Facebook and Instagram. If anyone wants to invest with us, check us out at Atlas One. We'll link that below.
And Atlas One is the EMD.
Yeah, they're our exempt market dealer.
So again, for everyone to remember, this isn't something you can throw cash at because you feel like it. This is a true financial instrument set up through a legal process that is extremely intricate and long and boring. However, it is made to protect the investor from things that are not safe for the investor. So for anybody who wants to invest in this type of asset class, yes, it's exciting. Yes, it's a sizzle. In all the things. But remember, real estate is an asset class that we get rich slow, not get rich quick. Anybody looking to get rich quick, tune into a different show and go find something else. This is somewhere where your homework, your due diligence, and the partners you choose to grow with matter. So always exercise prudence, patience, and of course, stay winning. Boys, I want to thank you so much for coming onto the show.
Thank you so much, Simeon.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Simeon.
And I look forward to the progression and watching this journey. And as you very well know, I'm going to be a part of it. So we'll see you there.
It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.